Streets of New Capenna brought Tainted Indulgence to Modern. Draw 2 cards and discard a card unless there are 5 or more mana values among cards in your graveyard. It's a great and easy way to put Archon of Cruelty into your graveyard and that you can subsequently cast a Persist on it. In today's video, I'm going to show you 3 matches with various approaches and builds of Evoke Reanimator that I have came up with in the first week of New Capenna Modern. First, let's briefly talk about the 3 specific decks. First, we've got an Ephemerate, Blink, Evoke Creature approach to the Reanimator deck. We play Tainted Indulgence and Faithful Mending as our ways to discard Archon of Cruelty, so we can dig towards Archon, persist it back. But besides that, we also got Grief and Solitude and Mulldrifters paired with Ephemerate. Grief Ephemerate is a powerful combination. On turn 1 you can rip your opponent's hand apart and it's a play that is a little bit inconsistent but can definitely win games on its own. It is very good when it's paired with something powerful that you can do right after when both players are still low on resources. I think discarding Archon and reanimating Archon kind of fits that bill, so it is very nice. This deck existed before, with just Faithful Mending as a real discard outlet for Archon of Cruelty. It was not really very good and didn't place often in modern challenges. I think a big reason for that was the fact that Faithful Mending is always a card disadvantage spell. You end up down on cards when you cast that, which on top of the Evoke elementals also making you go down on cards if you evoke them, meant that you ended up in the top deck mode very early and you just didn't have the resources. Tainted Indulgence changes that. It is a card neutral spell if you draw 2 and discard, and it is a card advantage spell if you just draw 2, which is very nice for this deck, and 5 or more mana values among cards in your graveyard is very achievable in the late game for this deck with 8 drops, 5 drops, 4 drops, 3 drops, and everything else. The second approach is more based around playing just individually good cards. A playset of counter spells to protect yourself, protect your game plan once you're executing it. A few Archmage's Charm for more counter magic. A Fatal Push, Thoughtseize, Prismatic Ending, all great interactions. All of that rounded up by a few Murktide Regents as extra secondary threats if you fail to assemble Archon of Cruelty. While it is true that Murktide Regent is also a graveyard-based card, and that means that if we face somebody with Leyline of the Void or Rest in Peace, it can get really tough. There's a few nice things about Murktide Regent's Delve ability. It works slightly different than Archon of Cruelty in face of graveyard hate like Nile Spellbomb or Relic of Progenitus, as Murktide Regent is going to incentivize your opponent to crack their graveyard hate piece as soon as possible to prevent you from casting it, while Archon of Cruelty would incentivize them to wait until you try to cast Persist. In that way, it is not a full-on anti-synergy between those 2 cards, but definitely a vulnerability that can be a little bit painful. The third deck I've got for you is based around the other card from new Streets of New Capenna, Ledger Shredder, a fairly hyped one. Lets you connive every time a player casts a second spell each turn. Connive means to draw a card, then discard a card. If it's a non-land, you put a counter on the conniving creature. We're playing Mishra's Baubles to facilitate triggering the second spell each turn quota. We can play Ledger Shredder, follow it up with Mishra's Bubble and get a trigger immediately. We're playing Considers and 1-mana interactions so that we can trigger Ledger Shredder early and often. On top of that, one would think that Ledger Shredder is also a secondary threat that can attack your opponent. After all, it's gonna get a few counters that could work as a secondary beatdown plan. We'll see how that goes. Out of the 3 decks I showed you, I think the one that has the most promise, comparatively speaking, is going to be the Evoke versions. I have found out that Tainted Indulgence, Archon of Cruelty, Persist, effectively being a 3-card combo, means that you really want your deck to have a strong, sound backup plan that's capable of winning games. Grief Ephemerate is something that you can do on turn 1 and rip your opponent out of their resources and then win from that point. You can also play a longer game with Mulldrifter Ephemerate, potentially even hitting 8 land drops to hardcast your Archon of Cruelty. That said, while Tainted Indulgence did improve this archetype quite a bit, I think to become truly powerful, Reanimator would need some more printings, some more ways to discard Archon at 0 or net positive card advantage would be great, or maybe some other ways to increase the consistency of the deck. As that is the main problem, the consistency is not extremely high. The payoff is strong. Reanimating an Archon frequently is going to win you the game, but it's also hardly a guarantee. You can definitely lose after performing your full combo, on top of being weak to Graveyard Hate, etc, etc. So with all of those factors in mind, I think SP Reanimator for now is going to be solidly a tier 2 deck, which is an upgrade from where it was before, as I think it was not performing very well basically ever in modern challenges, etc. Alright, without further interruption, let's go over to the matches. I don't know, bros. Memnite? Hammer? Stoneforge? I don't know if turn 3 Archon is likely, but... Can take Memnite so they can top deck Sigarda's 8 to equip with a hammer. But turn 2 Stoneforge is like not much later than turn 1 Memnite, so... Okay, do you have an opinion on for an offer you can refuse in Modern? Yeah, I do. Well, I mean, I played a deck with it yesterday. It makes ad nauseum function. But as a first spell, it's not good. Rebirth is just so much worse than Ephemerate, it's not even funny. It's not supposed to be funny, but it's supposed to be played as a land sometimes. But yeah, maybe just play for Ephemerate and like don't care, I don't actually play it as a land. Wonder if they have Graveyard Hate main deck, hopefully not. Ooh, nice. So you see it more like a combo piece than a counter spell? Yeah, it's an occasional part of the card that you can counter. Kaita Shizuki, chilling comfortably in the sideboard. We'll stay here forever. I think Griefers is not so good. Maybe the Thoughtseize is the worst card. Damage Sorted is great. It's got 2/2 TBH in this matchup. Hallowed Fountain. I guess that's the same hammer match we were playing. How do you say it, chat? I don't even know. GIF, GIF. I don't often say the word. No discard to hand size. No, I was planning to do it right now. Whoops. I pronounced like the G in Inaj. Interesting. Very good draw. Why cast it now? Because they play protection spells sometimes. Blacksmith's Skill, for example. Which I think I would rather exile the creature for good, and then they have this that they need to attack. I block, they commit the hammer, I'm fine, I can persist again. That was the reasoning. Actually winning. Very nice. Seems like they have nothing. Well, I did pass a turn without making a land draw, but that was on purpose, right? Because I wanted to discard the Archon. What do you think of Ledger Shredder? Well, I was just saying that it seems more like a Pioneer card to me than a modern card, just being a 2-card threat. The problem with Pioneer is that Narset is played a lot. That is true. Narset is one of the most popular cards, and the Shredder is not a May, you just connive, so you always draw it in this card, which means that into Narset you really can't play it. But I think in modern it's mostly Tarmogoyf type threat, and it's a bit tough to play Tarmogoyfs when 1-mana options exist, but well, maybe there's enough upsides. But I don't know, like in modern you're gonna play it for 2 mana and it's often gonna die for 1, not achieving anything. Just with Tarmogoyf, which is still occasionally played, at least you've got the upside of sometimes having 7 toughness or more toughness than Lightning Bolt, so it actually survives at least parts of things. While the bird is always gonna be boltable, right? Well, maybe not always. If you play the bird and they opt, consider on turn 3, then it's not gonna be, but God, the mana base in this deck is such a pain. So much damage. Maybe there's a way to have less shocklands, but with the splash, it's pretty hard. I'm going to 12, and I'm not done with my shocking yet. Eldritch Evolution, Karmic Guide, Omnath. Eldritch Evolutioning? Interesting. Well, guess we'll take the evolution. Kinda awkward because they can't even immediately cast it. They can't even cast Omnath. They can't cast anything. But if they cast evolution for Omnath on the next turn, that's pretty bad for me. Sunken Ruins, need to discard, Dry Swamp. Ironic. Alright, I'll fetch a island or a tapped shockland if they don't do stuff. I want to be able to cycle Raffine's Tower if they just grab Yorion. I think that's quite needed. I'll just die to the 2/1s, it's fine. I want to draw a loot spell into a reanimation spell. Great. Awesome. I just willed this into being. I want to draw the discard outlet into a reanimation. And Maro pulling the levers of Magic Online in the what you see headquarters. On it, canister. You're provided with a Tainted Indulgence into persist. They go Omnath now, and then I counter, and then they go Calming Guide Omnath for the next turn. Largely fine, because we're gonna get 2 Archon triggers by then. Although the Icefang Quad was kinda good at absorbing the triggers. They might also have Solitude for the Archon, which we can maybe try to find another counter spell for. Ooh, grabbing Yorion, that's so good for me. Can have a birds. So they have Yorion, Calming Guide, Fury, Omnath, good. That seems largely beatable. I opened IRL who willed cards into being, now he's banned for 3 years. Yeah, but like, I do that on Magic Online, which is fine. I guess if they attack with the Archon, they sacrifice one of them, it's fine. We don't have Archon die to this, most likely. Terefere. Very nice that we can counterspell. So they have Karmic Guide, Fury, Omnath. We can attack, they won't be able to block with the Death Touchiness because there will not be Death Touchiness. We can follow up with a dragon for good measure. Karmic Guide has protection from black. I guess it doesn't really work against Archon because it sacrifices a creature and attack, so it's pretty funny. Protection from black. Discard Yorion, alright, so they only have 2 cards. They discarded Fury earlier too, so they have Karmic Guide and Omnath. So I guess I would Karmic Guide into Yorion, that's what they want to do. Against which we're going to consider, and we're gonna draw the counter spell. We can play the Regent. This deck is working like a clock. Well, it does flow pretty well, those games that we played so far. I mean, I did draw super well, and the Regent is also a problem now for them. Maybe it's actually a good backup plan. Although, of course, once they introduce, you know, some counterplay into the mix, it's gonna be tougher, but effectively we're playing a Delver deck, but my Delver is an Archon of Cruelty. Alright, so against this matchup I think I would want Jace and Tereferi. And this is some kind of a, I assume, Vivien combo list. I can only guess. Because they played Karmic Guide, so what else? Smite Again seems fine. Fatal Push, maybe too. Is Vindicate better than Void Rend? We want to hit lands. The only reason I play Vindicate in my cyber is to hit lands. Tron lands, Valakuts, whatnot. I wouldn't play this effect just to hit non-lands. Do I really want the Walkers? Well, don't I? The Endurance, or, you know, some stuff like that's gonna be harder to fight through. Would the new flavor of the week card, Ledger Shredder, work in this build instead of Murktide? Looks like a good way to fill graveyard with Archons. It's possible that maybe it's okay to play Shredder in this deck somehow, but they will be introducing a creature that's weak to small removal, which is kind of not Pog. Dress Down does some stuff, but I don't think it does enough stuff to be really that great. I think I prefer my other effects over it. There is Solitude deck too, so Murktide Regents may be weaker than usual. There also a Ice Sun Catal deck. Let's cut one Murktide and do this, not sideboarding much. Don't want to destroy my deck, but also don't, against 4-color, often the case that all of your cards are somewhat okay-ish, but not super great. This hand has high upside, so I'll keep. I know about cutting removal versus the creature combo deck. Also, creature combo deck with also planeswalkers in it. It's an 80, like, I don't think I want all the removal. Being bad with removal is pretty bad against Yorions and sometimes, right? Probably gonna take Veil. It's a really strong card against me, and the rest doesn't make that much sense. I think the rest is okay for their combo. Yeah, I think it's okay, but I'm not sure if I want to have it over any other of my cards. Take the only action card. This is kind of hardly even action, I think, right? So I think I'll rather take Veil. God, I'm on fire today. My draws. Veil of Sun can protect from the Archon trigger too, so I think it's just very strong. Maybe I'm under it. We'll see if they get a broken free drop with Eldritch Evolution. Maybe they will, and I will feel silly. Passing, not grabbing Yorion would be really tough because it's indicative of endurance. Evolution to your red creature into Vivien. They could do that, and that would be powerful. Maybe we try to go for a big Archon as opposed to what, a small Archon? 4 mana, what's that? Avalanche Riders, Prison Canopy, white, untap. Some points really in a pickle. 4 mana, Pelidar Guardian. Okay, so they have Evolution and Unknown. Strong move. If they evolve this into a 6-drop, do I lose on the spot? I guess if they can evolve into Kiki, they have a free drop. They don't have a free drop. You can kill a bird. See if that resolves. Sacrifice, Bird of Paradise, alright. Sacred Foundry. Drew a Fetal Push, unfortunate. Maybe should have waited with the fetch. Wanted to save life, but that probably doesn't matter. Let's prismatically end the birds so they can only cast Evolution. I guess they can evolve into Solitude, so it's not all over. Yeah, I get probably a mistake on my part to fetch previously get super punished with the push. They only have 2 cards, 3 lands in play. Can draw land for Jace, bounce the Solitude then. If not, they can also play Murktide Regent. Maybe they'll surprise me with some kind of a 6-drop. What do you think is the sickest 6-drop they've got? Prime Time. I mean, Prime Time doesn't seem that good. We force them to sacrifice the discard card. Grave Titan would be kinda strong. That is just Solitude, yeah. Prime Time, get 2 Calling Gardens. That'd be OP, yeah. Good point. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, they get a 7/7 against 1 card in hand. Seems solid. They play Felidar into Solitude. It will be pain though. Not even grabbing Yorions. They have some kind of a trick. Lead on Consider. Draw land, play land. You have push available with Revolt. Attack. The trick, bad memory. What? Also, they play a new Triumph chat. They optimize their mana base by using Jetmir's Garden and Ketria Triumph. They're a Birds of Paradise deck, so it makes sense they want green. They don't need counterspell mana. Kiki Jiki Mirror Breaker. Oh, shucks. Resolves. Not copying in the end step. Also not copying pre-combat to attack for more. One, two, three, 4 costs. We're lacking a 3-drop or a 4-drop. Did we lose that? I mean, I'm very far away from losing. We counterspell up. You know, this is not a loop yet, but the impressive movements on my opponent's part. Murktide Regent got contained, you could say. I can't quite play another one. Maybe it was considered before Indulgence. Yeah, I'm not so sure. Yeah, did I have the consider? If I did, then I probably should have. You're right. You did not. In that case, I shouldn't have considered when I didn't have the consider in my hand. So I need them not to draw an Ice Fang Quatal, I think. A Sorcerer Speed play I will counter. And no play I will draw 2 so that I can bounce the Kiki GQ if counterspell then. Yeah, it's non-legendary, which means you can't copy Omnath, can't copy some stuff. But pretty, you know, pretty good way around my Fatal Push with the 5 cost card. Thing is, if I persist, we won now, right? How? What? How do I win? Well, I have a play of passing, and then I can Teferi with the thing. Hall of Storm Giant Shining. Bounce with Jace. Well, that sounds weak. Slam Jace, bounce Solitude. What they do? They copy Solitude. Well, they flash it in. They kill my Jace. What does it do? I might want to cycle persist. Yeah, they'll discard the card. They sack the copy. We gain plenty of life, though. And next time you can Teferi bounce Kiki and then have counterspell up. I think I have enough cards that I should spend the persist, yeah. Well, if I bounce the Kiki with Jace, I just fucking replay the Kiki, kill my Jace, I get nowhere. That's like the shittiest play ever. What makes you think that's a good play? Well. Bro, not cool. Oh shit. It's a pretty big difference. I think we can counter. What a game with Kiki Jikis. They won double white by any chance? Maybe. I think I will not be cycling the Triumph. But now you have plenty of life. They top deck, so hopefully they don't top deck something sick. No paying cost. Don't. Shit. That could be very good. Just value Persis more than Jace. Well, the Persis gets me somewhere because I get to keep counterspell up, and Jace gets me nowhere. They got a Windswept Heath, which means I think you can stabilize. Unless they draw an extra Veil. Say draw 2 now. How does Hall feel? Well, pretty bad this game. If I had 5 mana on the previous turn, it would have worked out better for me. Nice copy. Haven't activated Hall yet in my small sample. Okay, now they have the Kiki, they kill my Teferi. Unless they draw a Veil to protect the Kiki, I think we're gonna be fine. Can counterspell the Kiki. Then we can play another Teferi or Jace. Draw 2. Maybe Jace plus even. In face of a free power creature. No Veil, please. Okay, no Veil seems like. We can play Jace now. Is opponent Vivien combo? I would assume so. Jace Plus to have Jace survive. Oath of Nissa. Oath of Nissa is counterable. It will be revealed, they might miss. You can counter the play that they draw from it. I think it's more disastrous cards in their deck, like Veil of Summer would be tougher. Or I could steal off, I could, yeah, and play my Teferi with my Swamp, Island Hall. Otawara. Well, we can't counter that. Not every card that guy can find with Oath of Nissa can be countered. Gonna draw 2. Can hardcast. Bit awkward to bounce Salted with, you know, the vision of hardcasting this. And also I wanted to reshuffle, but I failed. Doesn't matter. Sometimes I wonder if Night's Whisper deserves more play. Well, sometimes you've got players just come out and put Night's Whisper in their decks. They flush in end of turn Solitude attempt with the Ferrying play, classic. I'm going to bounce Oath of Nissa. Could steal it, but that's probably pretty bad. Nice move. Alright, so they start by Oath of Nissing, and they get Vivien on the hand. How many more fetchable stuff I got? I think I have another island. Meddling Mage. Yeah, Obscura Gaming. Vexing Shasha incoming. I think they could play Vexing Shasha and would not contribute much towards winning this game, so... Don't want to tap out for the Archon, because if they do Vivien of the Hand stuff, they could easily combo off and kill me from out of nowhere. So I think keeping up 2 counter spells should be preferable. Resolves. The name of the new Esper charm is Obscura Charm. No, it's called Esper Charm for Boomers. Well, Esper Charm for Boomers would be Esper Charm, right? Yeah, we're going to hardcast now if my opponent lets me. Seems like a tough decision though. You can also play 2 mana Archon and keep up 2 counter spells, so that seems better. I guess I could have had 2 Archons too with the untap stuff. 13 cards left in my deck. True, we did dig through lots of cards in our deck. How many more persists? 1, 2. Can instant speed that? Yeah, I could, but it's the same thing. Can instant speed the second one just for you. You're already in there, you know, 3 Planeswalkers phase on the game for a while, so you can do whatever, but also instant speed persisting is probably just better. No hardcasting Archon? No, I will keep 2 counterspell instead of 1. Unfortunately, they don't have creatures in play, so the triggers are kinda wasted. Also, if you have a very small deck, you actually are not able to attack with Archon of Cruelty anymore. We only have 9 cards left in the deck, so like at some point we are not able to attack with Archons anymore. It's a 14 turn game, but we did dig through a lot of cards, I guess. Hall wins now, also does Archon. Let's activate my Creeping Tar Pit to make it feel like it's actually useful, and activate my Hall of Storm Giants, which we don't even get an opportunity to. They also played Saheeli in their deck, which makes sense, I guess, if they refilled their Guardian deck. Don't plus pick Teferi. I mean, I had 6 cards in the deck, so they were lethal, way over lethal with Teferi in play. I think I could have afforded to plus. You can't seriously expect Caster to build a deck well. He doesn't build the deck, he just plays it. Come on, bros. I plan on growing the beard. I haven't shaved in a while, yeah. It's a lot of Tron gamers. Is my plan to have it big? Well, we'll see. My bear doesn't grow much past what I already have, so I think it depends on your genetics or something. I would not be opposed to have a huge bird, but it doesn't do that. Did you really intend to skip 2 mocks showcase qualifiers for Polish FNM and winning box events? Yes. I see you are in disbelief because that's like around roughly the 7,000th time you suggest to me strongly your messages that I should not play in the Polish FNM. Nice Tron deck. Oh, bro. Oh. How conniving. I don't need the swamp. Yeah, what, they have Tron in it? Sort of. It's not like I win the showcases anyway, so if I skip them, it's fine. I enjoy going to paper magic tournaments, so I have to keep up counterspell, but we can connive on my opponent's turn. Oh, how conniving. Actually, kind of impressive this game. I have not played with Phoenix now. I mean, like, I don't know, they're kind of good, but just let's grow them. Watch them draw an Oblivion Stone and actually win. Or Ugin. Ugin doesn't work against Archon. Sure. Always carry 2 spears. 9, 10, they die. How conniving. Alright, my trusty Vindicates in Planeswalkers in 4th season. Fetal pushes out. Not sure, maybe they don't actually want the Planeswalkers. I guess we don't want the Fairy. The Fairy's not good. Yeah. Maybe against Wormcoil. Wormcoil is kinda awkward, we kinda need to counter it, but ending's out the Fairy worst. I think ending is better than the Fairy. Especially on the draw, and especially since Relic, exiling Relic is very valuable in my deck. More than normally. Ledger Shot and Phoenix Waiting Room. Yeah, that will be next week. Opponent keeps 7, plays Forest. Sir, we have to check if you have a proper unexpired Tron license with you, on you. Opponent, I actually don't. Well, tough luck. Oh, Pioneer Phoenix, yeah. In Pioneer, it's not a mage, so you have to connive, so imagine your opponent has you play Ledger Shredder, tapping out, you pass a turn, and I guess it's fine, because Narset still lets you draw 1 card per turn, but it's not a mage, so definitely can pain you. Then you cast 2 spells on your turn, and you have to discard a card. Although you can grow it by counter, so... No! How conniving. Just kill the Narset fast with the Shredder. Easy. Nature's Claim? What? I'm going to force myself next turn. I think in case they draw a Relic or something, I don't want to ruin myself. But we can next turn get Archon with Fort Caesar, you know. For a Dumping Sphere, makes sense. They will draw Fractusk, that's okay. They will top deck Tron, that's not okay. But if they top deck a map or a scrying to complete Tron but not play banger, then I would rather have Fotsies for the current liberated still on their hand. Kurwa no. It's fine unless they kill my land. Shit. He chose a Seacrom over the Triumph. Actually punished for not Fotsiesing self. Well, they did draw the tower, which was the one bad scenario. And I agree they did get lucky. In a way, but of course sad. They play poorly here. What do you think they should do? Well, they probably should keep Garen, yeah. It's pretty bad. Not to. If I didn't have a fetch shot, I could shuffle it away. I could caster it away, that would be good. I think I shouldn't play planes in this deck. So is the bird busted? It's closer to unplayable than busted so far. It's been kinda nice game 1 against the Tron gamer, but it's closer to unplayable than broken. Cheapest pair on car market €7. This is all like, it's like an NFT bird scam. Don't buy into it, just be patient, you'll get them for €1. We don't get a counter, I discarded a Seacrom Coast because it doesn't let me cast a Fairy on the next turn. I think I'll let them have Ugin. Ugin you can beat with a Persist. They can plus and kill the Shredder. Just try land minus the Fairy on Ugin. Why didn't the bird get pumped? Guess it doesn't. If you discard a non-land card, Seacrom Coast, land. Unfortunately they can ult next turn. So in the Persist now. Connive is a cool mechanic, I think. Why? Maybe they will not get anything from the Eugene. I should have connived. I played better than connived. If I draw Persist now, it's on me. Okay, I didn't draw Persist. Alright, thank you for watching. There's still places that Reanimator can come and that can be explored. For example, this Grixis list, which I have right now on screen. It is an untested sketch, but maybe a direction worth taking. Trying to go harder on the good cards aspect, mainly by playing a Special Federation. But if you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, comment, hit the bell button and do all the other cool stuff. You can also try visiting Twitch, where I stream almost daily. Take care and stay hydrated.